on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, miss you every day. You like my oxygen, make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we're gonna make it.
Hello, Deanna. Hello, fans. We are back for another edition of All Time High. Deanna, as we get the algorithm warmed up, can you tell our listeners what they should be doing right about now?
You actually should be subscribing to our channel. There's a little button right down there. Hit that. And then if you like this, hit the like button thing on our.
Yeah. And if you don't like us, leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
We've seen a few comments recently. We said some things about Jack Mahler's a sheep in wolf's clothing, or wolf in sheep's clothing, and it hit a few people the wrong way. But that's a different episode.
It is.
This episode's about what's next.
Yes. What's next from what, Jim?
Well, basically, the stablecoin legislation got rejected. They decided they didn't even want to talk about it. It was definitely originally seemed like a very bipartisan issue, but as it came to the actual vote, the entire Democratic side of the aisle voted no, and 2 Republicans voted no as well. To get to the place where you can actually further discuss the bill, you need 60. So this is simple mathematics. Are we going back? This was supposed to be the easy part, right? Where to from here, though? Like, if an all-time high, if you look at our first video, the purpose video, our goal is to help grow this space, to make it more attractive, more functional for all the people.
Yep.
Deanna, so what I'm going to put forth to you, and I guess we can debate this a little bit. I have the guidance that comes from Pantera's legal chief officer. Okay. It's a cryptocurrency company, on what she sees as next. She's on a crypto show. I have not watched it. Neither she may not be right. You may not be right. I may not be right. We all may be right. But let's get our minds and gears and wheels turning forward. Where to from here?
I just want to say if future episodes or future is anything is indicated from the past, we were right a lot before. And so I'm not saying we're always right, but I'm just saying we're right a lot of the times.
Right more than wrong. I mean, for whatever that's worth, not financial advice. Knock on wood, do your own research. Don't not do your research. I go back to one of the things Deanna always says: if you can't find the people, what does Deanna say?
It's no bueno. Don't do it.
No bueno.
It's no bueno.
Good. And candidly, I want to get past the meme coin space. Do you want me to go first? You should go first, this one.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say I agree with you that this is a bipartisan issue. The industry desperately needs regulation, and they need guidance as far as what is considered acceptable and not acceptable. We were really hoping that this Genius Act was going to be a first step in that direction. We see that it's not. However, I don't even know that was the part of the industry that even really needed the regulation aspect to it. You start talking about these meme coins, you start talking about these crypto coins, you start talking about DeFi and stable coins and being able to stake. And, all of those parts of the ecosystem are things that need to be accounted for, and not just specifically the stable coin part of it. But
now that you,
go ahead.
Now that you said it that way, it makes me realize that the whole purpose of the stablecoin legislation, the way it was written, was to get the banks in a place where the banks were like, it's okay. And you know what? This whole rejection of it because it got to a place where the banks were like, whoa, this is not okay. This is going to change everything, everybody. And all right, back to you. Sorry, you helped me see that.
No, that's what, so it's crazy because it was written for the banks, but it was voted down because of Trump. So it's kind of like, maybe against the Senate. I don't know. It feels like it should have gone through because of the way it was written. It didn't go through because of concerns of Trump, and I just find that to be ironic.
Well, the Democrats found a rallying cry, and I'm not for or against either particular party. You know that by now. Like, I try to purposefully stay neutral. But what they pointed out was that Trump has created a stablecoin, and he would, because of his capital situation, be able to back stablecoin. And so whether it's true or not, I don't even know. I can't even tell you. Are they in a way, or did these rules come across in such a way that would benefit him tremendously? I don't think so. I don't think so at all, because if you have a stablecoin legislation that gets passed through that doesn't include yield, why would anybody except for your hardcore, know exactly what to do, crypto OG like you, do this? I don't think they would.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, honestly, so let's think big world, right?
All right.
If I'm Trump, if I'm a stable coin, right? I want to go for big transactions. I want to go to where large amounts of money are going to be moved. I think oil is a fantastic industry for that, right? So
Yeah.
if they're saying that the Saudi prince or whoever other foreign person has a stable coin along with Trump, and that the two of them are working it together, I see two things. I see the opportunity for them to be able to make money off of transactions, but I also see the ability for control. And I go back to my biggest thing about stablecoins is it feels more about control than it does the financial freedom that we tend to associate with cryptocurrency.
And that's what banking does. It creates guardrails, it creates rules, it creates regulations. And in that regard, you want to protect who it is that you are and the advantages that already exist for your industry. And so as banking tries to get assimilated into this, I don't know. So you tell me if that's not the first place to go, or are they going to rework this and bring it back again? They've made a lot of concessions on both sides of the aisle. Again, I keep going, where to from here?
I mean, I think honestly, we should be regulating all of these other coins that are starting to pop up, right? Like, I still find people who don't understand the fact that a lot of these projects are raising money to build the technology and not understanding that, that they think that the technology is the coin that they're buying, but that's not
Yeah.
really. It's like there's all these intricacies that aren't explained to people that need regulation, that need more oversight, that just need a clear path. If you do X, Y, and Z, then you can do it. And if you're going back to you need to have a Series A, well, guess what? That's an old system trying to govern a new system. It just doesn't work. So open up the market, open it up to the people, give people clear regulations of the way, and allow people to kind of get in and get their toes wet, figure things out, play around, do your own research. You know what I
Not
mean? And
financial.
and keep the market open for everybody and not clamp it down the way that they keep trying to.
All right. I do have one system that's an old system that I think will work. And I know last time on the debate, you absolutely destroyed me. So I even acknowledged at that moment, I capitulated. I was like, okay, you won that debate. You convinced me. You're right. So here, let me try to convince you that one of the things that's keeping us from moving forward faster is meme coins. And the idea that cartoon monkeys and images, while they show the capability and functionality, it's not really a productive necessarily way to do it. And so the way I'd like to have those governed are the same way that they have governed penny stocks, right? Because penny stocks were subject to highly manipulative tactics. You'd phone call in and say, hey, if you get it real cheap, it could go up to anything, and then people would rug pull. And so they created governance for that. And I think one way to clean up the meme coin space, right, is to put because that's one of the things that I think needs to happen in order for this space to be taken more seriously. And for us, as my goal from the beginning, as you know, move to a place of utility.
Sure.
I don't think meme coins are the utility. Meme coins.
I disagree on that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and destroy me
I
again. It's fine.
a huge part of the market. I mean, I go to collectibles. I think of meme coins. I think of collectibles. I think of baseball cards. I think of the ability to make a digital twin. Like there's a way to, it's got its place in the market.
What happened to baseball cards? I know because I'm a collector.
I mean,
they printed them into oblivion, like the ones that were popular, and then Topps was the only one, and then they added Don Russ and they added Fleer, and it became ubiquitous, and so the value over time eroded immeasurably. And because it's a collectible, so let's say I agree, meme coins, because I'm an agreeable person, meme coins are a collectible, so let them be governed like baseball cards then.
Yeah, that's the point. And that's the point, is they're coming at this technology that's brand new with all of these old regulations. Well, obviously, the Howey test doesn't apply to baseball cards. So why would it apply to meme coin? You know what I mean? So it shouldn't, that's not even its own thing. So take that and make it something separate. But I have faith in the fact that we have an SEC guy now who is crypto friendly, who understands the industry. And I hope that maybe that person can actually look and devise up the technology into the parts that it really belongs into, and then apply new ways of monitoring those specific things, whether you go from, am I raising money? Is this going to be performing like some kind of a stock where I need a Series A? Is it a meme coin where I'm releasing my own digital monkey, or my Topps baseball collectible on an NFT?
Yeah.
Is it a currency that I'm using? Is it a digital coin that I'm staking? I mean, I just named 4 completely different use cases for the same technology in which they're trying to use a blanket. This applies to all. So that's what needs to come next.
So what you're talking about too is we have a new SEC chair who has basically, even before he arrived, they rescinded a lot of the lawsuits. They've cleared the path. They are no longer exercising through a process of regulation by enforcement. However, there still are no rules of the road. There is no safe harbor. I know Hester Peirce has recommended that, like, let's just set up for the next couple of years and say everything, we're not going to prosecute, we're going to build. We still don't have that. So there's really, who's been ultimately incredibly silent here? David Sachs, crypto czar. Where are you? You're the AI czar too. And what's going on? He just sitting in the background waiting for things to happen. I've heard Lutnick and Bassett say more about cryptocurrency than I've heard Sachs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's, it's kind of apples and oranges because of where they are in the government, like legislation and, the regulation. It's, it's different aspects. And I know, I just want to say I have a little bit of tidbit of information. We can call it gossip if you want to.
Let's call it gossip.
I know I forgot to tell you before this episode, but when you're ready for it, I want to drop a little nugget that I think is really interesting.
Well, I mean, gossip is not something we typically have on this show, but if you've got it, let's bring it. Now is the time. Hello.
I do. So last week, I don't know if you know this, but over 5,000 Bitcoin was moved out of an old Silk Road wallet that hasn't been touched since 2013. That was worth $320 something million.
Well, help some people who don't know about Silk Road. I know we have a different viewing audience with different levels of expertise.
Yes.
Silk Road is like OG stuff.
Yeah. So Silk Road was the first use case for Bitcoin. And it's not, this is how it got a bad name, was it was a no holds barred website where you could go and you could buy drugs and you could buy guns and you transmitted in Bitcoin.
Okay.
The founder of that actually got arrested. He was tried. He went to prison.
Is that Ross?
He was also released this year.
Yeah.
He was released this year.
That was big.
And he's got clemency, so he could have lots of money. I don't know. I don't know if he did it.
I see where you're going with this. Now I've connected the dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
So back when Silk Road was going down, and here's some gossip that I've got straight off the newswire. You ready for this one? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. I'll even pull up the screen on this.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
This comes from Crypto World.
Uh-oh.
Coinbase is now going to join the S&P 500. Woo!
Our first crypto come out. Well, do you count Overstock? They accepted Bitcoin payment. This is actually the first crypto company, though.
Yeah, like dedicated specifically to it's an exchange. I mean, Tesla was in. We understand they held Bitcoin, but holding Bitcoin and like this, that's a whole nother dynamic.
Totally agree.
Now, I don't love Coinbase. This is not a paid political advertisement for Coinbase for very good reason. There's some challenges they face. Be careful out there. Yes. But it gives you an idea of the impact that they have had to date. Yeah. From a place not that long ago where it's like, will it make it, to a place, oh, we're going to make it. We're all going to make it.
Yeah.
But how we're going to get there.
This is my favorite part of this time, as scary as it can be for a lot of people. Is I feel like we're having this revolution that technology is allowing to happen where it's like out with the old and in with the new, and it's happening very rapidly because of the technology. But with the explosion of crypto, with the explosion of mining, with the explosion of DeFi and AI, it'll be nice to get some fresh blood going in the world where it's different people of power and different people making decisions and different ways of doing things. And I'm excited for it. And I like the opportunities it brings to people. Well,
I'm with you. You know this, but I don't think the banking. Oh, boy, I was going to use a word that would have got me in a lot of trouble. It was a C word. Uh-oh. But the bank, but yeah, we can't use those words. So yeah, they're not going to let this thing go easily. Like
All
this
right,
whole.
we're ready.
All right. Are you ready to see what Pantera's chief legal officer had to say about this?
I am.
All right. And Mackenzie Sigalos, who I've met and have seen at different conferences, she is very dialed into this space, knows a lot about the miners in Texas, asked a lot of great questions. I have not watched this. Is there anything else, though, you'd like to, at this final moment, say that you think is going to be part of what's next for this industry as we build a bigger, brighter, better future for all of us?
I mean, honestly, I hope what happened next is we figure out a new way to use it to make even more money.
All right. Capitalism. I like it.
Yep,
all right. We're ready. Let's play.
To advance in the Senate. This isn't the only stablecoin bill moving through Congress, but how much of a setback is this for seeing crypto legislation passed?
Sure. So initial reaction was a little disappointed. You know, the stablecoin legislation is generally perceived to be the legislation that's going to be the easiest to get through. That being said, I wasn't the most surprised because in the days leading up to the vote yesterday, there was definitely chatter and discord on the Democratic side with respect to some perceived conflicts around stablecoin legislation and the presidency. So not unexpected, but I am optimistic that it will be reintroduced with a few modifications, hopefully, and we'll still see this pass in the near term.
All right. So the short answer is they're going to come back at this same thing and attack it from a different vector. So you read the bill. Is there anything in particular? I've got my yield problem. Is there an issue that you'd like to see them solve as they reintroduce this legislation if we take her at face value?
Yeah, I'd like to see him open it up a little bit more as far as the requirements of who can do it. And I understand the reporting, but I think the reporting is a little difficult for them to achieve the way that they think that they're going to be able to do it. So I'd like to see them, get outside of the old boys club and open it up to everybody else.
Yeah, you got to be careful, though. I mean, this is like U.S. governance. And I'm going to say this about Tether. Like, that's an overseas operation, yes?
Well, no, but it's not. It can't be a currency. It can't be. So, you know what I mean? By definition.
So are we governing the world?
No, I'm saying the stable coins are allowed to use in transactions, but it can't be considered a currency. So essentially, it's always going to be like PlayStation money.
Well, see, I see it as like tied to the world reserve currency status. So that like it is going to be, in my mind, backed by the dollar bill. And this is why the USA should all across the board, either side of the aisle should be all for this because it helps to reframe the conversation. Everybody's used to the USD. Notice how you see what I did there? Being the denominator. And if we pass favorable legislation on stablecoins, it'll somewhat inhibit situations like BRICS, and it will somewhat cement the concept in this new developing space all over the world that it's all like you want to be in stablecoins, which really is saying what? I want to be in dollars.
But but you're saying, so if it's backed by the dollar, I just want you to think about like the deployment of this for a second. So if we're saying that every cryptocurrency or every stablecoin is backed by the dollar, then we can only have as many stablecoins as we have dollars right now. And our entire system is based off of debt, right? So like what we have in circulation is really like a third of what we have actually printed. Or you get what I'm saying? So like what's they're kind of inflated numbers because it's borrowed on so many times. And so are we saying that we're
saying money printer go burr. Warm up the money printer.
That's what I'm saying. So then
I'm saying
that you'd have to print more. You'd have to me, it's like in order to expand the market, you would have to print more. And that's only going to devalue it. So seeing it play out in my mind just doesn't compute.
It will only devalue those that don't have a fixed supply. And that is the beauty of crypto to me.
But if it's tied to the dollar, you would have to print more dollars in order to entertain more supply.
Fair enough. We can't argue that. But do you think we're going to denominate the world like Jack Mallers wants to in BTC? I don't see it.
No,
but it could happen.
No, I think the only way is at some point to say we're not printing any more dollars and we go to a strictly digital system of the digital dollar, but there's no technology that could handle that right now. And that still becomes a very scary thing, right? So I don't see how reasonably you could roll this out or facilitate it.
Well, I say the risk on the other side to your point there, which is well taken, is that other countries could do the exact same thing. right? And so which country you want it to be? You want Germany? You want China? I said it. This episode is not going to be seen by anybody. Or you want it to be the US of A. And I know where I want to, my vote goes. That's where my vote is cast. All right, let's check out a little bit more. I don't think we're going to watch all 4 minutes of this, but let's see if Pantera's legal chief has more insight of where to next.
Now, the Democrats who oppose this bill raised concerns around national security and anti-money laundering. Is that an actual concern that needs to be addressed in this bill? And if so, how should that be tackled?
You got to love McKinsey. Is that an actual concern? Like, are they really real? Or are they making that up? Oh my gosh, that's too good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that we need to make sure that we have the right security and framework around things around AML for consumer protection reasons. I think that the two sides are not too far off with getting there on this. And the language was actually introduced kind of late in the game. I think kind of perception, or at least some of the things that I've been seeing today, is that the Democrats really just wanted more time to digest the text and make sure that did address their concerns there.
Now, are people talking behind the scenes that this pushback really has to do more so with President Trump's crypto dealings? I mean, just this week, we saw key Democrats speak out about the Trump meme token and other crypto projects emerging from the administration.
I think she's onto something.
Yeah, I don't think it's any surprise that there's pushback and there's political controversy.
What you got?
I was just going to say, I wondered, I saw an interview where they were asking Trump about his meme coin holdings, and he's like, I don't know if I owe, he was didn't really answer it. But then I heard right afterwards Fox News say that the top 25 holders of the Trump meme coin are getting a tour of the White House and a special dinner. So, is that something I think? I don't know. It's like a merch store. Should it be mixing that with? I don't. It feels like the lines are a little blurred. Are they? I don't know.
They are. And that's where somebody's got to figure out how to do this in a way that's for the greater good. Yeah. And when it feels like what's that?
Do you think it's a little mucky? Like the fact that it's a little too close to home.
It's not. You just gave me the answer, Deanna. This is the way home. It can't be mucky. It's got to be like Buc-ee's, right? Because you go into Buc-ee's, it's for everybody. Right. You got the gas to get your car going. That for the Ethereum people out there, you got the clean restrooms. I mean, you've got all the arts and crafts, drinks and food. You got jerky. You got turkey. You got. I mean, what do you not have? You got deer feeders. You got Yeti coolers. You got life-size mascots.
The way home is just be like Buc-ee's.
Yeah, let's make it less mucky. Be like Buc-ee's. Done. I don't know how else we can close another great episode of All Time High, but I think we have just set an absolutely new standard. I don't know if it's high or low, but we're gonna go with it. Deanna, thank you. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time on All Time High.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my